What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys, Xavier and Clark. Guys, today we have a daunting task. We are going to preview the $70 UFC pay-per-view, UFC 312, DDP versus Strickland 2. That main event is epic, and I love the co-main event. I'm sure we
Seven-
all do, but
$70 not worth 30. I wouldn't pay 30 for this card, bro. Like two banger main and co-mains, but after that, significant drop off. One of the worst drop offs I would say I've ever seen in a pay-per-view.
yeah, big drop-off. We'll get to it, but man, the featured fight is Justin Tafa versus Talison Teixeira. So
Who?
eh, the last featured fight on the last pay per view was Yuri versus fucking Jamal Hill. So I guess they blew their load. But nonetheless, we're gonna start at the tippy top. This main event is sick. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it should be Hamzat in there." Hamzat does deserve a title shot, but why not do this fight? The first one was super close. They both needed a fight before they fight Hamzat. I dig this fight. How do you guys feel about this rematch?
I mean, I fuck with it. We all know that I fuck with my boy Strickland, man. And even though I kind of think that I would be more excited to see DDP Hamzat in general, um. I fuck with Strickland, man, and I think that considering I feel like he didn't do enough to overly lose his fight, even if it was kind of pretty close, coin flippy. I just feel like those fights are kind of go to the champ. Um, so whether you think the DDP barely edged that or not, you can't argue that it wasn't a really close fight. And even though he doesn't have some super padded number of title defenses, the division kind of doesn't really have that many clear contenders outside of Hamzat right now. So, I mean, I'm not mad at them running this back. Might be Strickland's last title shot if he doesn't get this one. So, I mean, why not give him another crack at that? Plus, Strickland and the shit that he says is kind of marketable to the UFC. So, why not, give him a crack?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I just know DDP got another win under his belt, so it cool with me. I have no problem with it. Uh, it was a very close fight, and I would have been cool if they gave that fight to Sean, to be honest. So I'm cool with them running it back. I think it's gonna be worse this time around though for him.
We'll see what happens when he doesn't get that cut. You know what I mean? Really.
Fighters not have to deal with cuts all the time.
Hey, man, the blood was going right into his eye, man. It was different.
Wipe it
But
off.
It was
I
different.
mean, since they fought, DDP beat Izzy, Strickland beat Costa. Um, Strickland did his thing against Costa, just kind of decisioned him. DDP had a pretty intense fight with Izzy, got the finish in the end. When this fight first got announced, I was like, oh, DDP's gonna run Strickland over this time. But the more we get close to the fight, the more I'm thinking I think it's gonna be very similar to the first one. I think DDP is gonna have bigger moments though. How do you guys see the second fight going compared to the first one?
The thing is, I literally last night was watching a interview with Sean Strickland leading up to this fight. I think with Brett Okamoto, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be switching him in there with someone else. But he was talking about the first fight and how everything kind of changed after the cut. He was saying his whole style is largely predicated on being able to see. You know what I mean? Like his whole style is he's not a guy that's gonna overpower you or out overwhelm you. His style is his vision, his awkwardness, being able to slip a lot of punches. You know what I mean? See everything coming kind of deal. His own comfortability sparring all the time. And so I do understand how particularly for his style, not being able to see and one or both of your eyes is pretty damaging. Like it's damaging to anybody, but if you're a grappler, you can always just kind of fumble your way through and grab somebody, he doesn't really have that in his game, so I could definitely see a very clear drop off, and we've talked about it a million times since that fight. Um, and how he was fighting in rounds one and two, which I think we can most definitely agree he was winning. He was peppering DDP. had his face looking like hamburger meat. You know what I mean? And then the cut happened. It was a tale of two fights, pre-cut and post-cut. And I think that like should he be able to at least not get cut for longer, I can see him like just winning more rounds than Strickland. Looking cleaner, maybe having superior cardio. I think he's gonna have to be like, getting up from some takedowns and shit, but I can see him like etching it out if he just doesn't get cut. So that's just what like I'm banking on to predict that he wins. But I mean, like you said, like DDP does end up creating those like big moments in rounds that kind of steal them. Or just like he just finds the finish in a random weird moment scramble, voodoo magic. I don't know what he's got going, man, but we've seen it a bunch of times.
Yeah, honestly, like these arguments for Strickland are very convincing, but DDP, I don't know. Right now, it just seems like I need to see him lose to pick against him. I don't know why. There's something about Drake. It's just how tough and awkward he is. He seems kind of, I don't know. He just seems to be on a streak right now. I don't see Strickland stopping it. I have DDP. I'm gonna go DDP by unanimous decision, and it's not as close this time.
I
This
wait, go ahead.
no, no, wait, you go first. I gotta pick.
I was gonna say, to be honest, I'm kind of getting shades of Charles Oliveira, um, with DDP here, where it's like what I'm watching, I'm seeing a lot of vulnerabilities that I have to just imagine someone's going to capitalize on, but they just seemingly never do. Same way, like I kept seeing Charles get clipped in all of his fights. So I have to just assume someone's gonna finish him, right? But then they just never did. And then he just kept finding ways to win, even though it wasn't always pretty. And that might just be like my downfall with DDP as well in his career, picking against him a lot based on what I'm literally seeing technique for technique. Whereas like he just sometimes throws that shit out the window and just like makes some shit happen in a scramble or creates a big moment, creates a knockout, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. So I mean, I'm gonna keep siding with technicality and skill, but like I can see if like I do see the potential for this to just keep aging bad for me.
Yeah, well, DDP is winning, of course. You all know where I stand on this. Let me just say, I feel like in the Izzy fight, he was a lot more technical. I thought he was more improved in that fight from the Sean Strickland fight the previous months before. I just feel like DDP is leveling up and at the same time not looking the best, but getting finishes. Like, he's just getting finishes. Not looking the greatest, but he is throwing like question mark kicks. He's throwing a lot more body kicks and leg kicks too. I feel like he's just improving every day, and I just don't see the same from Sean. I just don't know. Like maybe he can edge out a decision, but like that's about it. I don't really see how else he pulls this off. Cause I just need to see more, man. Like I can't just keep seeing him doing a jab, walking forward. He's got good defense, I'll give him that. But I just feel like DDP is the kind of guy who'll find his chin eventually. And I mean, the man can smack. He can smack for sure. So, especially in the later rounds where I feel like they'll both be more tired just because I think DDP is going to once again get takedowns. I don't think Sean's, made major improvements over his time. I doubt he trained for takedowns against Costa whatsoever. So I just feel like he hasn't made big jumps in his takedown defense game against someone like Dricus, who I feel like is honestly elite in this division. I'd say right behind Hamzat, he'd be the second best wrestler in my eyes. So I just feel like Dricus wins. I think he's going to be more confident than he was probably in the first fight. Um, Especially taking some of Strickland's better shots. I feel like I don't know. I feel like he just gets it done. I just don't see Sean. He would have to win like kind of a razor close decision again. Like that's how it would go, I think. So I just feel like DDP has way more ways to win this fight.
Wait, real quick question. Like, do you think that if he does win a close decision, like Sean does, that they would run a trilogy, or like would they just give Hamza his shot?
They're gonna give the Hamzat. They're gonna give Hamzat the shot before they would do a trilogy. The UFC wants that belt on Hamzat so bad.
Literally.
That's what I think.
I
What were yeah? What were you guys' official predictions?
I'm gonna say yeah. Strickland via decision.
I'm gonna say DDP, fourth round KO.
My final prediction, I'm gonna go with I got DDP by decision. A unanimous decision, but it's not as close. I think he's more dominant, but still a close fight.
And still, baby, and still.
So I'm gonna say it still. But let's move on to the co-main. Maybe like the best women's fight they can make right now. Like I'm very excited for this fight. I think a lot of real MMA fans are. We got Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. Suarez is now the favorite at minus 122. Kind of shocking, but people are.
Insane,
It's kind of crazy.
insane, man. The
She,
Guo, the Guo
she
against the
yeah,
Guo.
she is undefeated. Coming off a win against Andrade, she has beaten three former UFC champions. Weili Zhang coming off that win against Yan at UFC 300, very dominant win. Um, if Weili Zhang gets past Suarez, it's just kind of she's on cruise control. But like this is a big challenge for her. I think this is the biggest challenge for her in a minute, maybe ever. What are you guys' thoughts on this one?
You can take it, Clark.
I think this is gonna be maybe up there with one of the better female title fights we ever see, to be honest. I think they're both, I would say, like evenly matched for the most part. Um, Tatiana Suarez, though, she seems different in the wrestling. She seems different down there. Just very Islam Makhachev like, can get those takedowns quick, snatch up subs from anywhere. She's just very confident down there, and I do feel like if Whaley gets taken down very early and controlled, it could be a long night for her. However, I think Whaley is strong and very tough, so I think she'll be able to get back to her feet at times. I think this will be a pretty competitive fight, but I do see Suarez pulling this through just because I think she is very elite. Just every highlight I've seen of her wrestling just has dominated every woman she's ever gone up against. She has dominated in a fight. So I'll take that domination here. Whaley is definitely top notch, probably the best strawweight ever. Um, Definitely gonna be a tough fight, no doubt. But I do think there are holes that we saw in the on fight. I do think she can be beat on an off day or just like Tatiana Suarez. I don't like that she's been out for like a year coming into this fight, but she is like one of those few fighters that I don't think ring rust affects her at all. She was out like a decade ago for like multiple years, came back, won a bunch of fights over who'd she beat? Carla Esparza, Alexa Grasso when she was a strawweight. I mean, those are some big wins, and she dominated those fights. And then she was out for 4 years. She was out for
formerly signed with the Invicta Fighting Championships, where she was the strawweight champion.
no
Uh-oh.
You're good.
good stuff. Good, good. All right, where was I? Okay, yeah, just impressive off the bench always, and her story is just so powerful. The fact she had cancer, she had so many injuries to get through. I just feel like she has the drive to beat someone like Wei Lee and the talent. So I'll take her. I do think if it stays on the feet most of the fight, though, I think Wei Lee probably wins the fight. But I just think this comes down to the wrestling and how the scrambles end up. But I think Tatiana Suarez wins those positions. Decision by decision though. I don't think she gets the finish, but
Yeah. I'm gonna disagree with you guys here slightly. But what you guys have said about Tatiana definitely true. She's definitely dominating on the ground. Seemingly can get most of these girls down there at will. Usually, we haven't seen her face too much adversity. Um, with like in the grappling department. But I will say Whaley built different, man. I say it all the time. She's the GOAT for a reason, man. She's gonna come in there. I would say that they're very evenly matched, almost. I would say Whaley has a striking advantage, and I would say obviously I would imagine Tatiana has a grappling advantage. But I just think that the gap might be a little different in the striking more so than in the grappling department. I think that especially if she can stuff the takedowns early and like put some damage on Tatiana to that may like wear on those takedowns, make those takedowns a little harder, maybe chop at the leg a little bit, or I just think Whaley might have a game plan to like where the wrestling might not as the fight gets into the later rounds, it might not elevate. It might, you know what I mean, diminish a little bit. Plus, we've seen like Whaley push a hard five several times by now. We know she can grit it out and dog it out in those moments. She's not a quitter. Um, I will say, like you said, if she's like getting controlled early though, and Tatiana is able to bank rounds, I feel like it could get a little dicey if she's just like really muscling Whaley around in there. But I really can't see that based on anything I've seen off Whaley in the grappling department. So. I bet that she gets her takedown, she wins her rounds. But I think that the striking damage, I think that the gap on the feet is a little wider than the grappling department. So I think that Whaley should be able to win enough rounds with strikes or do enough damage to take over the fight as it goes down the stretch with her experience, her championship experience, and with like, chipping away at the body and gas tank a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Whaley by Um, either fifth round sub
Mm,
but more likely decision.
okay. I'm gonna lean Suarez. I'm gonna go Suarez by decision. I think it's gonna be kind of shocking. Like it's gonna be shocking for Wei fans, I think. Like respectfully, Xavier. I think she's gonna get kind of dominated for long periods of the fight. There's gonna be long periods of control time for Suarez. And yeah, Zhang is gonna have better moments on the feet. I think she'll have her own moments with her own takedowns and threatening submissions like that. But I think Suarez is just gonna control most of the fight. But I'm gonna take her by decision.
We will see, boys.
We'll see. This is
I
a
will.
great fight.
I will. I've been looking forward to this one for years. Like especially seeing the potential of Tatiana, but like never seeing her really be able to be healthy enough to kind of sustain that like extended push of like 3 fights in a row where
Mhm.
you kind of need to like, get people's attention and then earn your title shot quick. I feel like this is a sport that kind of moves on fast if you're not constantly like reminding these people what you're about. So, I mean, I'm glad to see her finally get her shot though, for sure.
Yeah, we haven't had a big women's fight in a minute. Like Grasso versus Shevchenko 3 was a big letdown. It was kind of just boring. The Kayla Harrison stuff has been fun, but we have a nice big title fight for women's MMA. Much needed.
Much needed.
I
And
don't like Rayleigh's the underdog though. I don't like that. I don't like that.
it's a little suspicious.
I love Whaley as a dog, you hear me? I need that in my life. Give me that in my fucking veins every time.
Let's go, Tatiana. You got this, girl.
Yes.
Oh, you got this.
But guys, unfortunately, uh we're gonna take a step down from the quality here. We're gonna go Justin Tafa versus Talson Teixeira in the featured fight of this card. Teixeira is 1-0 in the UFC. Tafa coming off just very uh he's had a very awkward career. a lot of ups and downs, wins and losses. What are you guys' expectations for this one?
I'm not gonna lie to you. My Tafa expectations are normally not too high if the fight gets out of the first like 3 minutes.
Not,
With that goes for him and his brother.
not even the first round,
They're
three
great.
minutes.
They're great first 3 minute like threats. I would say, and they have all they like for their sizes. They like move pretty quick in the first 3 minutes, like I said. But after that, like it just depends on the gas tank. I would say of Teixeira. I don't really know this guy. I've never really seen him fight um at all. So it says he's 1-0. So. I don't know if he's just being brought in here as a can to feed to Tafa to make the New Zealanders happy. That's kind of what it seems like to me. You know that on these cards they kind of like tee up easy tailor-made matchups for like the hometown favorites. And I think that those type of vibes and momentum is all they're really banking on for this card because it damn sure ain't no name value, you know? So yeah, I think that they're probably just teeing Tafa up, so I'm gonna take him to win, but like I don't know Teixeira, and if he has a monochrome of cardio, he should win the fight.
So I'm looking at his bio. It says he's 7-0 on here. On a what is it? Shit, Tapology. All finishes in the first round. He is
Jesus.
apparently a big power puncher here. He has one arm bar submission as well, but that makes it interesting, honestly, because that's all Tafa does is kind of swing and bang. So if
Someone's
they
going to sleep.
collide, I feel like I think they're. You know what? Take the under 1.5 in this. I think that's a safe play here, to be honest. Because
The
I
only the only problem with that is like when they gas out, then they kind of have staring matches for
Oh, it's
large.
over.
Yeah, you're not that under 1.5 if they're both gas is not hitting. They're just gonna get into a little clinchy bear hug wrestle.
That fight is finishing.
and maybe they gas out by the end of the first round. Who knows? One gets a sloppy knockout. I actually wouldn't be shocked if Tafa won this, but I'll just go with this buddy because I mean, he looks in pretty good shape. He's got all first round finishes. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to have a size advantage in this. Let's see. He's 6'7",
Jeez.
6'7", with an 83 reach. Oh, man. Okay. He has a 9-inch reach advantage. Yeah, I'm going with this buddy. 25. He actually
Un
might be a killer out here.
Undefeated. Are they bringing him in here to slaughter fucking Tafa in front of his people? That's crazy.
I mean, 7 inches taller. Oh man, like
Oh my God. Wait, hold up. This guy might be serious.
This
He
dude,
looks scary too.
is he a behemoth, bro?
And he's wearing like jeans in his photo. Like,
He
not.
clearly doesn't give a fuck.
all right, boys, let's roll with Teixeira.
Yeah, I'm pick flipping, man.
Yes.
I'm pick flipping. Watch Tafa crease his shit with like one punch. Hold
He
him.
might. I'm not gonna lie. He might.
Hold, absolutely, absolute can, bro. You might be.
So, man, this is
On
great. This quality.
You gotta love the unknown as your damn feature
Dude,
fight.
yeah, I always look at a feature fight like, yeah, there's no title on the line, but like, man, it's a fun fight for the fans.
It
This is
should
gonna be a
typically
fun fight.
it should typically be a fight that like could headline its own like fight night card, I would
True.
say. And this is not that, but like at least it should be like at least they probably expect something like someone to get knocked the fuck out at least. Hype the fans up going into the title fights, you know?
Yeah.
This should be like the opener.
Yes, yeah,
Or
facts.
something that, like, or the
Literally.
opener to the main card. Like, if they were gonna reorder this, like, this.
Yeah.
They
I
should
mean,
have put
yeah, there's fights below that we'll probably get to that honestly I think should be over these fights. But I kind of get why now they put this fight on the main card. I think they just expect someone to get slugged out there.
I, I wouldn't hate seeing the Volk and Taporia, like the thickness and Taporia on the main card. Open it up, the main card. I know like they're not proven at all, but like just for the vibes, man.
It's a story, man. It's a
The
story.
vibes.
It's a story going on.
I'm not even gonna act like I know how these two fight, but like
Is Big Taporia good or not? Like, let's fucking see. I want to know.
Hearing is good.
but yeah, we don't have to go down the whole main card. We can kind of bounce around here. What anything you guys really want to talk about on this card? Have we gotten to?
Borshev. We can talk about Borshev.
My boy Boris
Yeah,
Chevy,
but
man.
he getting a dub here.
Yeah, he fucking Nolan up ideally.
Unfortunately for the Australians.
I know. I'm feeling like they. I'm feeling like a lot of these. Like, look at this. This is like actually unusual. Like, the Aussies are like underdogs in a lot of these fights, dude. They don't even give a fuck about making the Aussies happy. They're like, we'll do that shit on the prelims, bro. I think that they're trying to like build a name off like these Australian, veterans. You know what I mean? Like Jimmy Crute and shit. Like a lot of these guys have like moderate name value, probably especially more so in Australia, and like they're bringing in like people to kind of kill them and build names off them. To be honest, this is a weird strat. I've never really seen this done before.
Well, it'll be like Canada all over again.
Oh my gosh, the Canadians can never leave happy. I swear.
Whenever they're hosting, somehow. And they get favorable matchups.
Shout out Jubilee. You know,
He quit his last fight against some bum fight. I don't even know your
dude, he was winning too, and I remember he just rolled the fuck over.
dominated that whole fight. And then rolled over.
Jenkins versus Santos, kind of decent.
Shout out Hyung Sung Park. 9-0, undefeated. Like, probably just getting those little moderate step up in comps. So let's see if he passes another test, probably. 2 finishes, 2 fights in the UFC. I'm like,
I,
as an opener to the prelims, like that's a good way to like kick the night off.
All right,
I
though.
I've heard some decent things about Cody Steele as well.
He's
fine.
fucking jacked.
Oh my God. Also, Wayne Kong. I fucking forgot about her, dude. She punches hard as fuck. She's probably about to sleep some girl, to be honest.
These Chinese girls hit hard.
Yeah, she hits like a Mack truck for her size. Like for women's flyweight, like she's a cracker. Like might be a little sneaky fight to end by finish bet.
All right, guys, give me what you think fight of the night will be and performance of the night.
I think fight of the night would be Whaley Suarez. I just don't see how like that fight is not gas as fuck. Um, I feel like they're both too talented for the other one to win dominantly. You know what I mean? Even if they like have dominant stretches, I think it's gonna be somewhat back and forth at least. Performance bonus, I could see Wayne Khan getting like knockout of the night, to be honest. Like she puts girls to sleep. And I think that when it's like at those lighter weight divisions, it's something that like you're kind of like not used to seeing like that, so it's a little more impressive. So I'll give her the knockout bonus. I can see Borishev styling on Tom Nolan though too. He has a very like appeasing style as well. So I can see him getting a performance bonus too. And then obviously whoever wins Dricus versus Strong should get like a performance bonus too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fight of the night, DDP Strickland. Only I do kind of agree with the Whaley Suarez thing. I just think there will be more striking in the DDP fight, so I think a lot more violence will be in that one. Um, Performance of the night, man. I didn't know who you were, but when I looked you up, I'm gonna take you, Mr. Teixeira, for performance of the night. I think he might just go like 6'7", 83 inch reach. Like 7-0, all first round finish. Like he might just whoop Tafa out there.
What are the odds on this?
Oh my God.
He's,
Can someone
he's
tell me what the odds are?
my favorite. Very slight. -135. So, I mean, it makes sense. I think they just expect one of them to get knocked out. But I think Teixeira is gonna put it on him, honestly.
I'm putting my house on
I'm
fucking.
feeling it, bro. And I haven't seen a single clip of him. About
I'm
to
put,
watch some highlights.
me too. I'm putting my house on fight not to go the distance.
I've heard good things about Taporia, the older one, and I could see him being nasty and getting a finish. And if he did that against Volk's teammate, I feel like they might give him and especially he's Taporia's brother, they might just give it to him.
Yeah.
If he gets any, I think they might give it to him.
I'll go DDP Strickland fight of the night and I'll go Park for performance of the night.
Oh yeah.
But it's good chopping it up, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us on our UFC 312 preview. You
Sorry we
know,
couldn't do more fights, man. I'm sorry we couldn't do
yeah,
more
it's
fights, man. I'm sorry these fights are just not good. Like, or at least like, it's a lot of unknowns. Like, not a lot of good name value on this card. I'll tell you that. For a pay-per-view, this is like unacceptable, to be honest.
like I think it could be a fun card, but even if it is fun, it's just not justifiable. But the top two fights are sick. That's what matters. Please check out the TikTok. We got some stuff on there coming up, and we got some other videos coming out later this week. So subscribe, turn on the notifications, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.